Hello and welcome back to the F1 Journal and to the Spanish GP race review, where Hamilton beat Max Verstappen to extend his title lead to 37 points, and he breaks Michael Schumacher's F1 podium record. Verstappen finished second after a poor Bottas' start, which in a race which also saw Lance Stroll finish fourth and Sergio Perez finished fifth. Vettel seventh for Ferrari as Charles Leclerc retired from the race. Lewis Hamilton shrugged off Red Bull and tyre concerns to seal a dominant Spanish Grand Prix victory and extended his F1 Championship lead, while a feisty Max Verstappen beat Valtteri Bottas to second. A week on from a surprise first defeat of the season, Mercedes have been fearful of the threat of Red Bull again in the Barcelona heat, but pole sitter Hamilton was in control from start to finish despite Verstappen's admirable efforts. That was a Hamilton masterclass, said Nico Rosberg, and Hamilton's former teammate as well as 2016 world champion. Verstappen, who was animated on the team radio, can take solace from the fact that he beat one of the Mercedes given their pace advantage, which Bottas made to rue a poor start to the race, which saw him drop down to fourth after turn one. Verstappen therefore remains Hamilton's closest challenger in the standings, although the six-time world champion is now 37 points clear. The win also means Hamilton has broken Michael Schumacher's record of 155 F1 podiums, while he is also just 3 away from the German's all-time victory record of 91. I was just in a daze. I felt really good out there, said Hamilton, who eventually beat Verstappen by a whopping 24 seconds after a ferocious final stint. Hamilton was in a league of his own, and so were the top three. Hamilton, Verstappen and Bottas were the only drivers who weren't lapped during a largely two-stop race, although there was a fascinating battle through the midfield. Lance Stroll took fourth for Racing Point, ahead of one-stopping teammate Sergio Perez, who finished ahead on track, but was handed a 5-second time penalty for ignoring blue flags. Carlos Sainz was an impressive sixth for McLaren at his home race, while Sebastian Vettel spared Ferrari's blushes with a superb drive in very difficult circumstances, somehow managing his wearing soft tyres. That was despite more strategy tension on the team radio, with Vettel voted driver of the day for good measure. Charles Leclerc also had an earlier spin and retired in the other Ferrari with an electrical failure. Alex Albon will be disappointed with the Red Bull driver, who has so often been a Sunday star of the season, dropping 2 places from his grid slot and failing to replicate the pace of Verstappen ahead. Definitely Max needs to be seen as the favourites. Those were the word of Mercedes boss Toto Wolff on Saturday night, worried about Verstappen's race pace, which he displayed to fine effect during last weekend's Silverstone win and practice long runs in Spain. Mercedes would have been even more concerned when Verstappen started from third, suddenly became Hamilton's closest challenger on lap 1, as Bottas lost 2 positions from the front row. We saw the worst of Bottas at the beginning, concluded Rosberg, on the man who replaced him at Mercedes after Verstappen and Stroll both passed him. It was always going to be tough fighting with Lewis, but he left the door open on the inside and let Stroll in through. But while Verstappen hung on to Hamilton in the opening stages, it soon became clear that Hamilton had more race pace than the Red Bull and was also managing his tyres with ease in comparison. Verstappen displayed 2 moments of real frustration on the team radio. First when he wanted to get off his soft tyres earlier than Red Bull would allow, and then again during his second stint when they updated on Hamilton. How about we just focus on our race instead of looking at Lewis, he said. Clearly on the soft tyre we were just not as fast as them, so let's just do our job and do their job. The reply said, keep your head down please Max. That he did, and while Hamilton was consistently around half a second faster towards the end of the stint, Verstappen still continued to provide a problem for Mercedes. This time it's frustrating Bottas. Bottas got back ahead of the Racing Point relatively quickly after his bad start, but was playing catch-up from there and never got into DRS range of Verstappen. A second stop on the soft tyres, disappointingly for the Finn, didn't even get in closer, and he eventually pitted for a third time to successfully snatch an extra fastest lap point from Hamilton. But make no mistake, this was well and truly Hamilton's day, and with 4 wins from F1's 2026 races, it looks more and more likely he will be world champion this year. And finally, here was the overall classification from the race. Lewis Hamilton won in a complete league of his own. Verstappen in second, he probably would have taken that at the start of the day, with Bottas in third, and it looks well, ever so likely that he'll even be in the championship mix at all. Racing Point will be happy with that, best that they can hope for, and the best that any team can hope for, who aren't called Mercedes or Red Bull. Sainz, great drive from him actually, as it was for Vettel, but Albon will be ever so disappointed. Yet another poor display from him. Gasly will be happy. I should imagine Norris, to be so far behind his teammate, will be a disappointment, and as it will be for the Renaults, and Kvyat, to be honest, properly as well. Raikkonen, a great drive to maintain where he started, and then the other few drivers just didn't really have the pace, and Charles Leclerc obviously had his DNF. Well guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the Spanish Grand Prix in this video in the comments below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for F1 news, and subscribe to my other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.